All right, so we're joined by my friend Nikki Boutwell, recruiter for Holmes Community College there on the Goodman campus, and Holmes Community College graduate as well. We are so glad to have you with us. We got a room full here with us at Velma Jackson High School. We're recording this for all of our seniors in Madison County Schools, our friends at Madison Central, Ridgeland, Germantown High School, and the Academic Options Center. So thank you for taking some time out of your crazy schedule for us today.
Thank you for having me. It is always such a pleasure. And I get to do my favorite thing, which is talking about homes. So I'm happy to be here and I'm excited. So,
Now, you are on the Goodman campus, and you went to the Goodman campus. So tell us about that because that's really where you said you fell in love with Holmes because you were involved in so much stuff that is there to offer there in Goodman.
yes, that is so true. I loved my time at home. So, I was your typical student in high school that I kept telling my parents, I'm going straight to a 4 year university. I'm going straight to a 4 year university. And I was mature for my age. I did feel like I was ready. But when it got down to the wire, I wanted to be a little bit closer to home. And I wanted to get my start at a place where I felt just a little bit more comfortable. And so, Holmes and Goodman was where I decided to go. And I really just had, I mean, I've said this over and over, but I had the best experience. So in high school, I always played sports growing up. I was very involved. But when I got to college, I wanted to try something a little different. So I got involved, which I highly recommend everybody to do because there is something for you. We have a ton of just athletics, organizations. And so I decided to do show choir when I was there, and it was a great experience. Within all of our organizations and our athletics, there is some type of scholarship involved. And I feel I've heard this from our president's mouth. It's our job it's our goal to make sure that students are at homes and they're happy and that they're not having to pay a ton of money. So on top of that, Holmes is the most affordable community college in Mississippi based on the numbers that came out this year. So that was another deciding factor. But yes, I was involved with show choir, which was great. I was involved with choir. We have a Baptist Student Union on campus. We also have a Mosaic organization, which is a community service organization, and it's available to students who, like, neither one of their parents have been to college. And that was my experience. My mom went to a 2 year university, and if it's a 2 year community college, that does not consider you to be ineligible. So that was my situation. So that worked out great. And they also provide scholarships as well and scholarships when you transfer. So that was very helpful. But yeah, that was my experience. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and now something you mentioned, and I think we obviously we got to talk about this. You talk about the affordability of homes. Let's talk about these scholarships because they're absolutely incredible.
Yes.
The 20 on the ACT is 100% tuition.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then the next number up is the 23 is the half tuition, half room and board. And then the 27 is the everything, if I'm not mistaken.
You're so close. So it's 20 to 23 is
Okay,
going to
20,
cover all of your
24.
tuition. So
Okay.
a PSA to my students wanting to go to the Ridgeland campus, that right there will cover your tuition. Our Ridgeland campus does not offer housing. So that one will cover that. And then at that point, you will just need to think about the price of your books. If you're coming to Goodman, which is our main campus, as you mentioned, it has all of our athletics, or all of our organizations are going to be there. Some are going to be in Ridgeland. That one you do need to think about the housing. So 20 to 23 covers all of your tuition. So my Goodman people, you'll start to think about housing and your books. And then if you have a 24 to 27, that will take the total of your tuition and your room and board and give you a 50% off discount. So that's super great. And then the 28 or higher will cover everything. And you
Wow.
just need to think about books at that point. But one thing that I love about these scholarships, so like my senior year, just thinking back to, it really wasn't that long ago that I was a senior in high school. I mean, I like to think, but something that was helpful that I went through is it's such a busy time that sometimes all these deadlines for scholarships like will have you so stressed out. So the good thing about all those ACT scholarships is they're automatically awarded. So
Okay.
you need to apply to Holmes, number one. Number two and number three, when you graduate, you'll need to send us your transcripts, which is very standard. And then the third step would be send us those ACT scores. And that's so our admissions office can automatically put those scholarships on your account if you qualify. So I think that that's great. We kind of do the heavy lifting once you send us your scores.
Yeah, and then another important thing, and we haven't even talked about the competitive scholarships yet, is if you are qualifying for any grants, that could stack on top of those ACT scholarships. So anybody with the 20 that qualifies for the help grant, you could be looking at getting even more off of your first 2 years of college.
Absolutely. Yes, they are stackable. So that helps so much too. So, like I mentioned, how I did show choir. So, when I came in, I ended up getting the ACT scholarship for the 20 or above. So, that covered my tuition, but I was still left with room and board. So, my connection, which is our show choir, that scholarship came in and covered the room and board. So, it was super helpful. So, that's why I was really encouraging y'all to just get involved with something because they stack along with the state and federal. It also stacks within the home scholarships as well. So
Yeah, and you don't have to be a music major. I think that's a very common misconception is, yeah,
yes,
I don't want to do the choir. I'm not majoring in music. You don't have to. You can still get
yeah,
scholarship money, make some great friends, get to travel and perform, and you're getting scholarship money to do that. You don't have to be a music major.
absolutely. And it just makes your time worthwhile. I always tell people, I mean, we hear it every day. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And through coming to a community college, and really, I mean, you need to make the most of your time, invest in those relationships. Because when you leave, you've got connections at the community college level. And then you also will have connections if you end up transferring to a university that will help you in the long run when you're out trying to find a job. So just keep that in mind too, that every time you get involved, and this is kind of just life too, every time you get involved with something, just make the most of it and use your time, just fulfill that in the best way you can.
Absolutely. Now something you mentioned, you said when you were in high school, you were saying, I'm going straight to the 4 year college. And obviously, if somebody wants to do that, by all means, we encourage everybody to find the best fit for them. But one thing I
Yes.
always try to stress is that Holmes Community College, and pretty much any community college, but Holmes, they want you to go to the 4 year college. Holmes has
Mm-hmm.
a great partnership with all the state universities and a lot of the private schools, where it even says on the website, this is based on the curriculum requirements at Mississippi State University. This is
Mm-hmm.
based on the curriculum requirements at Alcorn State University. So it doesn't mean if you go to Holmes, it doesn't mean you cannot achieve that dream of going to that 4 year college.
Absolutely. So you are 100% right. So when you come to Holmes and it's time for you to make your class schedule, you're going to sit down with an advisor. And that advisor is going to want to talk to you about big picture. What do you want to do with this degree? And, what are you thinking about occupation wise? So they help you look into the long run. And they're going to, if you know you want to go to, let's just say Mississippi State for engineering, they have a great engineering program. Our advisors are going to pull the curriculum for whatever type of engineering you want to do specifically, and then they'll try to match every class that Holmes has to offer within Mississippi State's curriculum. And that's to help you in the long run. So, I mentioned earlier, Holmes is affordable. They're going to try to get you as many classes at Holmes to fulfill that bachelor's degree at Mississippi State because Holmes is more affordable. So that way you can get as many classes off your plate before you transfer. So, yes, we want everything to transfer beautifully. And all of our staff at Holmes takes the utmost care in making sure that that happens. We also check in with you every semester just to make sure you're on the right track and you're not dropping a class that's like, hey, you really need to take this. You're going to have this to get into their program. So we keep all the tabs on you and we're there for help if you need anything along the way. So, yes, we 100% make that our goal. And while we're talking about transferring too, I hope I'm not jumping the gun,
No, go ahead.
but we also have, so when you come into Holmes, I already talked about those great ACT scholarships that you can get. But another benefit about coming to Holmes, and this is really for any community colleges, is Phi Theta Kappa. Yes. So if you have not heard of Phi Theta Kappa, it is a national honor society. And so it is amazing, especially if you're going to transfer to a university. You definitely want to try to get into this honor society. So ways to kind of get in is you need to have a 3.5 GPA to be inducted once, and then you have to go through the process of the induction. I think you have to pay a $100 one-time fee.
Yep.
So just once. And then your into. Did I miss anything about PTK that you know about? Just
You know more than
those
I do, but I think
things.
it is one of the most hidden gems of community college life that there is, and I encourage everybody to at least try to do it because it can literally save you thousands of dollars.
Literally. Okay, so my experience, and I keep talking about my experience, but I tried kind of everything there was at Holmes, and by far that was the best thing about going to a community college was it set me up for success when I transferred because so like you said they paid thousands towards your tuition. So when I left Holmes and I was inducted in PTK at Holmes, when I transferred they paid at MC, Mississippi College, where I went, it was $10,500 a semester.
Wow.
Because I lived off campus, if I had lived on campus, I would have gotten even more money.
Wow.
And so I think it pays 16,000 for Belhaven, 7,000 a semester for 2 consecutive years at Ole Miss. So I mean, it's just wonderful. But all that to say is all the amounts for how much PTK will give you are going to be different depending on where you decide to transfer to. So if you have that in mind of where you want to transfer, go ahead and I would just ask that recruiter for the transfer recruiter, or I would just look online and you can see what all amounts that PTK will give. But I always tell students when you come in your freshman year, make that a priority, like make PTK a priority because a lot of times your first semester are going to be kind of your lighter load of
Yep.
classes. You know, the more you go on, maybe the harder it's going to get. And so just go ahead and make it a priority to get inducted your first semester. I think the other stipulation that I missed is you have to be enrolled in a 12 hours is the minimum, which if you're a full-time student, you're going to be taking probably at least 15, especially if you have your eyes on transferring to a university. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. Just keep those grades up and keep your GPA up so you can get inducted.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you talk about stacking on transfer scholarships. You know, we had Mississippi College where you went early this semester, and they have their new speed scholarship, which takes care of a lot of stuff. You could stack that on top of their speed scholarship, on top of Phi Theta Kappa, and then any grants you give, and you're looking at going to school for next to nothing.
Absolutely. And I also tell people if you want to be in school for a while, if you know you want to do, pre-nursing, pre-vet, pre-med, like come to a community college. I know you are obviously, super smart if you have your eyes on that, but it will pay off in the long run because of all of the money that can be awarded to you. So just keep it in mind for sure.
And another thing to think about, and I know Holmes, any community college, but Holmes does a great job of this because I did some time at Ridgeland myself. And you're going to have, especially here at Velma Jackson, it's a smaller school, smaller class sizes. That's what you get used to. And even me, I went to Madison Central. I got to Southern Miss and I was in a class literally with 500 people, which was the size of my graduating high school class. And I know these kids hear me tell the story all the time, but I'm telling you, it happened. I was in a class with 500 people, and there was a guy in the class I had literally known my entire life, and I did not know he was in the class until the last day. And I'm like, if I'd have known that, we could have worked together, and I could have had a better grade. That's not going to happen at Holmes.
Oh, absolutely not. And so our student to teacher ratio is about 17 to 1.
Wow.
And I mean, there is not a student that comes through Holmes that doesn't know Miss Birchfield, Miss Miles. I mean, everybody knows all of the teachers on campus. The teachers know them. The teachers support whenever I was in show choir. All the teachers came and they supported their students because we all had that close relationship. We went to them for questions if we needed to, talk through about our degree, we knew we could go to them. Sometimes you'll pass by offices and students will just be hanging out in there. It's definitely a home environment, and our instructors give so much time to their students, just making sure everything is clicking, everything's working great. But yes, it is just the perfect size, especially if you're used to that. Because I was used to that too. I graduated with 17 people. So
Wow.
I definitely needed a smaller environment and it helped so much. So
Yeah, and then another thing I definitely want to talk about is, for the kids that are kind of on the fence about, I don't really want to do the 4-year college thing. I just want to get a certification and maybe an associate's and just start working.
Yes.
These scholarships that we've talked about also apply to the many career programs at Holmes. So if they want to get the 1 year certificate or even 2 1 year certificates, that scholarship's good for 2 years. So talk about how that works, because I think a lot of people don't know that, because kids are like, I'm not taking the ACT. I'm not getting anything in college, but Holmes can offer that for you, where you can get job training for free tuition.
Absolutely. And so when I think about our career tech program, some of our most popular ones, I instantly think about welding. We have HVAC, which is heating, air conditioning, refrigeration. We have cosmetology. We have, let me think off the top of my head, a couple more. We also have some nursing options if you're interested in like practical nursing, healthcare assistant. We also have an ADN program, physical therapy assistant. So we have a ton to choose from between health related, between industrial, between business and professional studies. I mean,
And
there's so many.
IT is a big one that you guys are getting up to.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And y'all, a lot of these, I mean, especially within the professional studies, you can do a lot of it online, which is helpful. Of course, the industrial side of things and the health science, you do need to be participating hands on. But a lot of our business ones you can do online and still get that certification. But yes, great options for that. I was going to mention one more thing about those. Oh, so you have a couple of different options with some of them. Some of them you can just come and get your certificate. So they're just going to, I mean, it's just you complete however many weeks it is. Sometimes they're different depending on which program, but normally it's just a series of weeks where you can come in and get it knocked out, get your certification, and join the workforce and start making some money if that's what you want to do. The other option is you can actually get your Associate of Applied Science degree, which basically means you're getting that hands on experience within our career tech field, but you're also going to take some academic classes along the way, which you'll have in your back pocket if you ever decide to get your bachelor's degree. You already have those class credits. And then it's going to be built within the curriculum of your career tech class. So it's not like you're having to have this crazy workload. They're going to split it up for you very nicely so you won't be overloaded. You may be in school a little bit longer than those that are, well, you definitely will, than those getting their certificate, because you're going to mix in a couple of things. But I think that that's great too, because you really get those basics just completed. And then you also leave with a degree in hand. And you get the hands-on experience. And I know a lot of people, I was like this too, when you leave school, working with your hands and actually getting in there and actually doing it yourself, that's where you really learn. So if you're a hands-on learner, that may be something that you want to look at. And one thing about our career tech programs, if you're torn between the Ridgeland or the Goodman campus, I would highly recommend getting on our website, or you can contact me if you have questions, because within our academic programs, those are pretty much just district wide. If you wanted to do accounting, you could do it wherever. But our career tech programs can sometimes be specific to the campus. We have a campus in Goodman and Ridgeland and Grenada, but I know that's kind of far from everybody in this area. So just be sure that you do double check that before you commit to a campus, because you will want to just make sure that it is offered.
Yeah, and another point on that is we have another guest sometimes that works for the Mississippi Department of Revenue in their IT department. They literally handle the server that handles the budget for the state. And he said they were more they hired a 19-year-old graduate from the Holmes Community College computer computer tech program, because he said he had the experience and certifications we needed. We couldn't wait on somebody to graduate from a 4-year college. So that's a pathway for people that want to get into that tech area that could be lucrative if that's the path you want to take.
Oh, for sure. And something, so when I actually manage our student recruiters on the Goodman campus, and so part of our training is we go around to all of the different career tech instructors, and I tell the instructor, tell us something about your program that you want us to be sure we communicate with prospective students. And every single one of them talk about how much money you can make when you leave the program. So these programs are not for people who are just like, oh, we're fine with $10 an hour. Like, you will be making good money within all of these programs. So, I mean, it's just something I wish I had looked into it. I went just strictly to academics, and I wish I had looked into more career tech options. You just need to educate yourself, and this is a perfect time to do that. So just skim through them, take a look. If there's anything that you're remotely interested, read a little bit on it. And on our website, it'll actually tell you kind of the breakdown of jobs within that field and the pay. So all of that is right at your fingertips on the Holmes website. And then another thing about our career tech programs is Holmes partners, kind of like what you were saying with the Mississippi Department of Revenue. We have a lot of partners within our career tech program that we work with Nissan. We work with, I'm trying to
Ingalls,
think of who else. Pardon?
Ingalls on the coast.
Yes. Y'all, I mean, we have so many partnerships with business, and we pride ourselves on keeping those relationships up because that helps you as our students. When you come in, you know that we're going to help you try to find something when you graduate, as long as you're excelling in the program.
Yeah, and I just can't stress that enough because I know I speak for all the teachers when, we have a several students that are, they're kind of on the fence on, whether they want to do the tech or the academic route. They can do the tech route, still get those great scholarships Holmes has to offer, and be making really good money at 19, 20, 21 years old. So I want to encourage everybody, really take that ACT seriously, because you're not going to find a better ACT scholarship than what they have at Holmes.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's just, I mean, I think about, like, I have a lot of students that say they want to do real estate. Real estate is currently something Holmes does not offer. But when I think about real estate, and welding, I mean, any of them, you just want to be with someone who you can really learn from. Like, yes, you can or you can graduate high school, you can take the real estate exam, and they'll throw you out into the workforce. But having that true, consistent relationship with your instructor is something that you will not regret, because they are the ones, they've been doing this for forever, and they're going to be the ones to help you find a job that is well paying, that sets you up for success, that you don't feel like you're just thrown out there and you just got to figure it out. So I think that they're the best. And like I said, I wish I had actually looked into them myself a little bit more. So just skim through those and just check them out, because it is so worth your time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that too, because so many people we have are like, why did nobody tell us this when we were growing up? So it's,
Yeah.
the information these kids get now, it's important to get it. But I do have some questions from the students. I get to as many of these as I can. These are all seniors.
Okay.
I love this. I love this first one. This is Catherine Johnson. She's really interested in cosmetology, but she asked, what advice would you give to someone who is an incoming freshman at Holmes?
Oh, that's great advice. I kind of had touched on this a little bit, but just get involved with something. So with cosmetology, they have a pretty they are really trying to get their students through the program. So you're actually going to have kind of different hours for someone who is a traditional student. So with cosmetology, you do go from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So it is a little bit different. Some of our other classes finish up around 3:30 each day, if not before then. And then we have Fridays off. So you have a little bit longer with that class, but it will be well worth it because, again, high paying job, and then you get out quicker than a lot of other people. So that's great. So I would say traditionally, my advice would be for just a traditional student to get involved. But since you're going to be busy with cosmetology, my advice to you would be listen to your instructor, because I know her personally and she has been doing this for forever. And so I know that within cosmetology or within a lot of other hands-on programs, you want to take that time and learn from your instructor and really get their feedback. So just take all their feedback in. I know that course, you kind of are like, end in sight, I want to get into the workforce, but take all their advice to heart, because one day you're going to need that. So that's my advice to you as an incoming freshman and a cosmetology
Yeah,
student.
and they were actually here Wednesday, and I know she had some great questions
Yeah.
for them. That whole bunch with the students was here Wednesday, so it was really, really good.
Oh, well, good. I'm so glad to hear that.
This is
Good.
Michaela Davis, one of our volleyball players here, and she asked, "What steps does Holmes take to help students secure employment?"
Okay, that's a great question. So, not only, if you're on the career tech side, like I mentioned earlier, we do have those partnerships with a lot of different businesses and companies and corporations throughout the South, North. I mean, really everywhere around the nation, honestly. So that's kind of my advice for the career tech side. As far as the academic side goes, I think just that check in every semester with your advisor really helps keeping everybody on track, and especially if you're thinking about transferring. So that is kind of our boom, boom, boom process for making sure that we do set up our students for success. Another thing about Holmes that I think we set up our students for success in is there's always somebody on campus willing to help. We have our slogan, no place like Holmes. And that's true because even if you go to somebody and they can't help you, they're going to find someone who can because we just truly care about our students. That's not a cliche. Like I experienced as a student, and I also experienced it as an employee there now, how I want to help students. And if I call our financial aid department, they're going to do their best to help you too. So I think that that's another way that we set up our students for success.
That's awesome. This is Cheyenne Harvey, one of our cheerleaders and our Miss Velma Jackson. And she,
Oh, congratulations.
yeah, what percentage of your students obtain scholarships?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't have a concrete number, but I would say, I mean, definitely over half because a lot, a lot of people that come through my office say that they honestly chose Holmes because of the great scholarships. Obviously they had the program that they wanted to study, but that was their deciding factor was these scholarships, especially those ACT scholarships. I'm sorry I don't have those concrete numbers for you. I'm actually not involved with the admissions department. We're marketing and recruiting a little separate. I know a lot of campuses have theirs looped into admissions. So I don't have the concrete answer for that, but I would say more than half because of all of the feedback I've gotten from prospective students.
That's awesome. I love this question. This is Patricia Evans. She's the president of our TSA and also a volleyball player. Now you talked about real estate. She wants to get into real estate management. And she asked, what are the biggest benefits of attending Holmes?
That's a great question. So the biggest benefits again are PTK. If you're on the academic side trying to get in PTK and help pay for your tuition when you transfer. The other benefits are the people that you meet because, like I said, you'll have those connections for forever. That's the reason I have this job at Holmes, y'all, is because I got involved with Holmes and I started working somewhere else. I found someone, I just ran into them that I knew from Holmes and said, hey, like, I want to be there. Let me know about anything. And it was because I had that connection. So you'll meet people and you'll have those lasting relationships. And so within real estate, if you're thinking about coming to Holmes, like I mentioned earlier, we don't have real estate specifically, but we have a lot of people that do business management. And then when they transfer, they have an emphasis in real estate because you can do that at a lot of different universities. That's very similar to what I did. I wanted to do public relations. We did not have that at home specifically. So I did communications. And when I transferred, I had an emphasis. So just want to mention that to you too. If you're interested and you know you want to do real estate, you can still do that and be a homeschool dog.
Yeah, and I can think off the top of my head 5 schools that have real estate management emphasis in Mississippi. So if that's what you
Absolutely.
do for anybody, there's a big market for that. I love this one. This is Cody Myers, one of our basketball players, and he asked, "How would you describe campus life on the Holmes campus?"
Oh, great question. So there's always something going on around campus. We have a full-time activities coordinator that plans fun events. We've got things like paintball. The other day we have a like a walking trail in the back of campus with a park and ponds. It's so pretty out there. And they actually did like a haunted trail through it, like a little hayride through it for Halloween. So there's always something going on there. We also have a full-time intramural activities director, and I know a lot of students aren't kind of familiar with the term intramural, but basically it's like when you were in PE in elementary and you got to play all these fun games and it wasn't super competitive, you're just playing for fun. That's what we do. So we just have our friends come down, we play pickup basketball, there's pickleball, I mean, all different things like that. So I would say probably 3 to 4 times a week. We're only there 4 days, Monday through Thursday. So we're there those 4 days, and there's always something going on each night. So that really adds to campus life. Side note to kind of the fun things going on around campus. Also, if you're thinking about the Goodman campus, Goodman is a small town. And so if you're looking for some working opportunities, we have a ton of work study opportunities on campus for you to make money as well while you're there. So even if you wanted to be a full-time student, work to make a little bit of extra money, and get involved as a student on campus, you can take advantage of all three of those benefits in Goodman, especially.
Yeah, and that's a great point because I always say no matter where you go to college, it's not you can't only focus on the academics. You really have to find a place and you have to network because you said it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not only that, it's who knows you. So making
Yes.
connections is just so important. I just got one more. This is Kanala Banks, and she asked, "What would you say is the most popular and most successful majors at Holmes?"
Oh, that's a great question. So we do have a lot of engineering majors. We have a lot of pre-nursing and like we have pre-nursing, and then we have a lot of people that take advantage of our nursing programs on our career tech side. So I would say those are some of our most popular. And we kind of talking about the whole nursing, pre-med, pre-vet, pre-dental, and then also the engineering programs. Holmes and Goodman has an amazing program. It's called Holmes Plus. And if you're in any type of STEM related major, this may be something that you'll want to look into. So you have to have a specific ACT score. You have to have a 24 or higher on your ACT to be considered into this program. But you get a scholarship, you get an automatic dorm room on campus, you get all of your books paid for with a free iPad and an iPad pen. And then you get your own study group. So they study together, they tutor students as work hours that they get paid for. I mean, it's just an amazing program. Our Young Alumnus of the Year, not this year, but last year, was a part of this program. It looks amazing on a resume. So if you're thinking about that, just within the STEM field, think about Holmes Plus. It's on the Goodman campus exclusively, but it is a wonderful program. And all of the advisors for the program are going to be your instructors within the like STEM field. So you'll have them at your disposal a lot too. So that's very, very helpful.
All right, well, we're almost out of time, and as always, we thank you for joining us. I think it's awesome how on fire you are for Holmes. It really is contagious, and I love to see it. And you guys are doing again. I just think it's incredible all the things you're able to offer our young people, and I really think everybody should at least look into it to find the best fit for them and their college. But before we go, just let these kids know why should they really consider coming and being a part of the Holmes family.
So you should consider being a part of the Holmes family because you're going to have people that care about you from the time you get onto campus until the time you leave. And then even further from that, we care about you when you graduate. We just truly want what's best for our students. And so I would say that is, I mean, I know I've talked a lot about the logistics of Holmes, but hands down, that's my favorite thing is you have a caring, welcoming environment that goes so much further than anything I could ever even talk about. So I would say that's my favorite thing. And I know for a fact that if you come to Holmes, you will experience that too.
That's awesome. Now, how can they get a hold of you if they have any questions about anything as far as applications and everything?
Yes, you can contact me about anything. Like I said earlier, even if I don't have the answer, I'm going to find it out for you. My email, if you need it, is Boutwell. That's Boutwell at holmescc.edu. And that's going to be a great way to reach me. If you want to call me, my work number is 662-472-9055. And even if you just want to talk about college and you want to talk about what you're thinking about majoring in, call me and we'll talk about it.
That's awesome. Well, we thank you so much for joining us. I know you got a crazy schedule, but as always, it's a pleasure. Nikki Boutwell, no place like Holmes.
That's right. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it as always.
All right. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Okay. Bye. Yeah.